Hi everyone. So for today's video, I like to do something different. I like to use the bar replay feature in TradingView to really go back in a point of time and really take a look at it bar by bar and see how we would have traded it with the indicators that we have currently. Now, if you take a look at the daily chart on Triple M, MMM, this is 3M company, the blue chip company. And really, you can see by the RS line, can really see that it really hasn't not been performing that well. So, what would be a good spot to kind of go back in time? Maybe, how about just right here where it's trying to turn? All right, so let's use the bar replay feature and just click right there. Now, um, if you press Shift and the right key, it will move the chart to the forward by 1 day. So right off the bat, let's take a look at this chart. So for this one, I'm really just gonna focus on the technical, really nothing on the fundamental side. So technically, I always like to look at the RS line. Looks like this stock was struggling over here. It seemed to be trading pretty tight, which is a good sign. Um, but it was going back and forth, right? So um, it really didn't trade or close above the 65-day EMA that consistently until over here. So, but ultimately that failed. Um, all right, well, whatever the reported earnings over here, there probably was some sort of news to drive this heavy selling right there. This is 9.5% of a drop, which is pretty big for a uh, blue chip stock. All right, so taking a look at the RS around this time frame, RS is lagging. The slope, generally speaking, is going down, and it is below this 50-day SMA for the moving average. If you look at the volume, probably this was news driven, so a lot of selling. So in the 65-day EMA is curving downwards. So nothing was really doing well at this point of time. So this was back in September of 2022. So it was about a year ago. So let's just keep hitting the shift right key. And I actually programmed my mouse to do that with a click of a button here. And so we can just take a look at it going forward. So if I move another day forward, what am I looking for, right? I'm looking for the stock to trade above the 65-day EMA. I'm also looking for RS to improve. It looks like RS is slightly improving over here, but let's just keep looking. It really will have to be trading above the 65-day EMA for me to be interested in this stock. Right now, the 65 EMA is still going down pretty fast at roughly 4 o'clock position, which is really not good. All right. So at this time of trading sessions, the volume has been pretty dry with the earnings coming up. So the earnings may act as a catalyst to really drive the stock. All right. So let's see what happened during earnings. Boom, they reported earnings. Let's see the reaction. The reaction was positive that next day. A few days before, looks like about 5 days ahead of the earnings, this stock was trading, fairly okay. All right, so after the earnings day, the reaction was really good and it closed right at the 65 EMA. All right, again, another session. So this is a true close above the 65 EMA, and you can see the RS line is overperforming there. But at this point, I don't really see any true accumulation, although I do see some pocket pivots in this time frame. It is still kind of weak. So in order for me to get into this stock, something else will have to trigger, which is the low risk entry. So if I enter on this day, where would I set my stop from to there? So what percent is that? So from there's still about 6.5%. It's not too bad, but this stock was just heavily damaged. I would just watch it to form a base before I get into the stock. All right. So, and it would be also really nice to have a prior uptrend before this base. If you look left, there's really no prior uptrend. Um, Maybe this could become the prior uptrend for a base to build out so that it becomes viable. Now, let's see if it does. All right. So if I keep going forward, it just chops around that 65 EMA. Boom. It looks like it was getting better and better. This dividend day could also be another telltale sign. Sometimes they would sell the stock the day after it uh, announces it gives out dividend. So let's see if that is the case. Boom. See, there were a few days of selling right before the dividend date. People were anticipating that because this is a blue chip, so the dividend date is actually quite important. So let's see if it holds. This other indicator turned red, meaning something is not right with the stock. All right. First day closed below the 65-day EMA. That is a red flag. It tried to reclaim it, but the trading ranges are getting wider and the volume got picked up. So both are pretty bad signs to be involved. I would have waited. So far it is okay. After 2 weeks, it held above the 65 EMA, but it really got capped by this one right there, about $128 range, and two closest below the 65 EMA would be a definitive sell for me. So I would have sold maybe even on this day when it undercuts the low of this day. All right, let's see how it does. Boom, boom, just chopped around a price underneath the 65, meaning it's not good. All right, so let's try to come back up on this day. Let's see what it does. So for me to buy, I do see a prior uptrend right there. So let's see if it's about 25%. Yep, just about 25%. So this base, whenever it's done building, it is actually viable, and I can see the RS line is improving. It's not deep in the magenta, right? So, and the slope is pretty good. So at this point, though, two closes above the 65 EMA would really trigger me to buy, especially if it's two consecutive closes. So this one is not right. So it closes above, and then the next day it was down, but this indicator turned green. So it is trying. So over this day, it will have triggered it. So maybe I'll place a buy to be the high of this day, which is we're getting close. So probably 130 ish. What is the high of this day? 129.46. I'll probably set a limit buy to be 130. So let's see if it triggers from there. Oops. Let's draw a trend line in there. From there to there. And set it to like 130. All right. Let's see if this thing triggers. Trade a few more days. On this day, it got really close to 130. The next day, also really close to 130. It got even closer to 130, but it came back down. All right, came back in, no good. So it never triggered the 130. So which is good because I got saved. Basically, got lucky there. It didn't. The order never triggered. No, never should have triggered. But if it had triggered, I see one close, two closes below the 65-day EMA. This would be a telltale sign. If I just want to cut my loss around right there, that would be 129. Had I got in like around right there to 129, that would have been a 6% loss, which is not good. But luckily, that was all luck. It did not trigger the buy, so it just needed more time to consolidate. So I'm gonna say I'm remove that. All right, it's still spending a lot of time underneath that 65-day EMA, and then I can see the RS is downward sloping, which is really bad. All right, so if I had gone in there thinking that it will go up from that short period consolidation, I should have gone out on that one. This is right now. It's really not a good time to be buying this and hoping that this will go back up. So this one looks like it may be forming a double bottom pattern right there on the daily, but we'll see. Just kept going down. One, two. Well, it looks like it's going for a third wave of down. So at this point, I'm still not gonna be interested in this stock at all. Let's see if it makes a fourth wave of down. So one, two, three wave of down. So this one is probably another wave here and another wave here. There's a little bit of VCP pattern developing here, kind of under the hood. But you can buy over the height of this thing whenever this thing turns green. And it's really getting close to the 65-day EMA. Boom, reported earnings. Let's see the next day. The reaction was bad. So again, it is not ready. So keep going, keep going. All right, let me drag the chart up a little bit. It's dipping, 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 dipping. Oh man, this thing was really not doing well. The 65-day is still not curling up. It is still downward sloping at about 4 o'clock position. So that is really not good. All right, right there, they reported earnings and the reaction was pretty positive. Let's see, did they report earnings? No, this was not earnings. Probably some sort of news would drive that. Good reaction, but never close above 65-day EMA, which is bad. Well, let's see if it closes above this Davis box right there. All right, keep going, keep going. It almost did. So again, one close, two close. I would have to buy it like over the height of this thing, which is about the height of this Davis box. So, but it hasn't triggered yet. So let's go a few more days. Still chop around. Boom. This bar was closed, but after a few days, I don't know if I would have kept my order in there. So, all right. So let's keep going. Keep going. Boom. It's getting close. Ooh, this bar would have triggered the buy right there. So around this point, I like to just kind of take a pause and look at it, right? The RS really has been doing okay. It's improving from all this downward momentum. But another plus thing is this thing is starting to live above the 65-day EMA. So if I were looking at this right now, I would probably do a small position over the height of these bars. So I would probably have gone in at around 105, and this would probably around this 105 range. Got in on this day, be on the red already. But oh shoot, there was an earnings, so probably would not have gotten in on the earnings. So let me take that back. All right, so it reported earnings. The reaction was very positive, so it went up. Day two, it also went up again. Consolidating, boom, came back in. Really, there's just no good spot to buy this stock yet. There's really no firm reason to buy it. So as you can see, it's breaking it was having trouble with the 65-day yet again over here, and really ultimately broke down. And let's see if it ever come back up. Boom, another high volume there. So it must have some sort of news. So this will be this will worth some attention right there. So would I have gotten the stock over the height of this bar? I probably wouldn't. All right, so let's see how we respect the 65-day EMA. It respected it one more time right there, and it went higher. So it's looking promising, but for something like this, I probably went through a lot of damage, and just historically speaking, the stock is just kind of hard to trade. So I would really need to buy it close to the 65-day EMA or close to this trailing support range right there. Now, so what I have bought on that day, it has respected the 65 EMA for about 2 weeks. So this, in retrospect, would actually been a good day to buy and really set the stop to maybe below the green right there. So 3.5% is quite acceptable if you buy there, and then maybe let's call it 4% with a little bit of slippage. So if it ever closed below 103, it would be a time to get out. If I bought on this day, looks like it was a decent day to buy. A lot of respect for 65-day EMA, and the RS was improving. Accumulation wise, I do see a lot of greens in this space right there. but I don't see much of a prior uptrend. You can call this one as a prior uptrend, but it's really not that not that great. So from there to there, 20 something percent yet again, but it dipped quite a bit there. So let's see how it plays out. If I had, oh shoot, okay, so we're back to present day. So this would have been a good time to buy and really see how it plays out. Now today, so this was last week. Today it looks like we went 1.2% over. So for this stock, it would be, I already own it from a higher buy, undisciplined buy really from the earnings gap up, but it just came back in. So a little bit here for loss, but it's really coming back up around, and with a more disciplined buy, it would have to be during this period right there. But I would have to really buy it as close to the 65 EMA as possible. So if it ever pulls back a little bit, so let's say if it pulls back to maybe the height of these bars, I'll draw in a ray right there. So maybe right there. So if it ever closes back in closer to this 104.5 bar, I would be initiating a position. So maybe if the market has a bad day here and there, probably go down to around this price, and I'll probably get in over 10% position. And respecting risk, if it ever closes below 103, it would be time to cut the losses. But if it does work, it will be interesting to see how it respects this dovish box that I drew in. See if it can go above 114, and that's where I can set my stop loss a little bit higher, or at least break a little bit over break even, so I don't lose money on this trade. All right, that is it. So let's keep an eye on this one for the next few weeks, even to see if it's come back down to around this price range, 105 to 104.5 to, let's say, 105.5 range or 106 range. All right, well, that is it for this video. Difficult stock to trade because it really has been underperforming. The only time that I would have really bought was the one that I kind of got lucky. It did not trigger that 103 mark and really underperformed from there. So, but it is looking nice and nice, as you can see on the RS line. I believe whatever news that they released during the earnings and whatever news that they released over here on August 28th. So the news probably came out on August 25th, that Friday before. It really has changed the character of the stock a little bit, but I still gotta have a low risk entry to be involved with this stock. All right, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.